Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers coming to you from the State Capitol building in downtown Lansing. Our topic today is transportation. Joining us now to talk about it is State Representative Brad Jacobsen, a Republican from the 46th District, which represents North Oakland County. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Very good, thank you. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Roads and transportation seem to sort of be the headline issue right now, the hot topic, because we just came out of the polar vortex winter to discover that our roads are a disaster.
Well, our roads aren't a disaster just this year. Our roads have been a disaster for years.
They seem a little worse than me.
They are. We had more frost in the ground this year than we have in years, and we really have seen the years of neglect in our road system really pile up this system. Actually, four homes down from my house in Oxford, we had the county come in and dump a load of gravel in the road because they couldn't fix the potholes there anymore. In our village of Oxford, on a particular hill in town, they've done the same thing inside the village. So it really is a crisis situation we're at now, but we haven't gotten there in 1 or 2 years. It's been years of neglect. And that's one of the things, sitting on the Transportation Committee, that's one of the things we've really been trying to figure out is how to improve those roads. And fortunately, because of the improvements in the Michigan economy over the last few years, we have had some funding increases due to sales tax and business growth that we put roughly $1 million into roads last fall. We've allocated $215 million this spring, and we're looking at proposals right now that should raise about $450 million over the next per year in years to come. Unfortunately, all of that in total is only about 1/3 of what we need to make our roads whole. And it's a desperate situation. We're still looking at other things. In my office in particular, we've been looking at Public Act 51, which is how the funding is allocated through the process. So the monies that are collected in gasoline revenues primarily, and federal monies goes into the PA 51, goes through this complex formula, and ultimately money comes out the bottom that goes into roads.
Is it all about funding? It doesn't seem to be all about funding. Certainly that's a huge portion of it, but there's some weight limit debates regarding trucks in Michigan. I know you have an issue in your district regarding speed limits on gravel roads. So there's some other things that that need to take place or are being discussed that could perhaps stop some of the wear and tear.
Sure. Out of that proposal for the $450 million, part of that is changing the weight limits. Not changing the weight limits, but changing the fees that are charged to those overweight trucks. I was really shocked when I found how low, if you have an overweight truck in Michigan and you have to go in and you get a special permit, as I recall off the top of my head, it's $15 per year to drive an overweight truck on the road. That's ridiculous. Our surrounding states are in the neighborhood of $800 to $1,000 for that same amount. So there's changes we need to make there. And thank you for bringing up gravel road speed limits, because that's really an important issue, primarily in our area in Oakland County. Other parts of the state really don't seem to be concerned about it, but I know we are, because we have a number of people in our area that ride horses or are bicycling or hiking on our rural roads in North Oakland County, where we still have some beautiful countryside and a lot of pristine places to look around, walk and enjoy.
Lots of issues to be addressed when it comes to transportation. Hopefully we'll figure out the funding issue soon so we can get rid of all those potholes, slow down the folks on those gravel roads and everything else. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was State Representative Brad Jacobsen, a Republican from the 46th District.